lights are off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on.
He missed the pit completely. He's crazy stuff.
Freitas is on the grass on the infield before. He slides through. He tags Richard Eck.
They hail from around the globe, and though separated by oceans, they gather in the virtual world to battle, to compete, to race. Whether they're former champions looking to regain the title, new and eager hopefuls driving for glory, or legends in their own time preparing to dominate, they're all here for one reason alone: to win. Today we'll find out whose name will be forever etched into the record books. You're watching the Blondies MX-5 World Tour.
Welcome to the Global Sim Racing channel. Today we are at the iconic Silverstone circuit for the second round of season number 8 in the Blondies MX-5 World Tour, sponsored by Blondies Bar in Long Beach. I'm Richard Losper, and with me tonight in the broadcast booth is Ayrton Ellis and league organizer Bill Zahn. Directing the broadcast action is Giancarlo Lenzi, assisted by some great camera sets from Dougie Beard. Well guys, let us get straight into it. Ayrton, we are at Silverstone, the Southern Circuit tonight. Tell the folks about this track.
Thanks, Richard. Well, instead of the Grand Prix circuit, we're at a shorter Southern Circuit, which covers about half of the track. It's about almost 2 miles, which is also considered 3.1 kilometers, and has 10 turns. And this track has quite a few left to right-handers, and also known as chicanes. And the pit entry is also really well-known and unique on this track, also very tricky for these drivers. One should also be a key point for these drivers, as it's a really fast left-hander into really long right-hander as well, so it should cause a lot of chaos at the beginning of the race.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, this is a very tricky circuit. I was watching the practice earlier on, and the guys were struggling with some of those corners. In fact, in that second set of chicanes, you'll see the drivers get 2 wheels off the ground, both on the left-hander and the right-hander. So going to be a lot of fun, I think, and a lot of trauma probably for some drivers. But let's talk a little bit about the championship and some of the drivers we have here. Bill?
Well, I checked my atlas, and now I realize now that Brazil and Australia are not neighbors, even though they're all below the equator. So I've got that figured out. Now, that being said, let's run through some of these locations: France, Denmark, Spain, Slovenia, Scotland, Portugal, Finland, Texas, Japan. It's not till we see Yal Freitas in 10th place that Portugal comes up again, where we have 2 drivers from the same location. This is truly a world tour. Now, Evan Maillard is our leader up there with 110 points. There's a few bonus points for qualifying that these guys got. Jesper Peterson's not here today. He's probably going to be a part-time racer this season. He's in 2nd place. Now, Jesus Cecilia is here. He's in 3rd. Ernst Jelenko is back. Sam McAleer is back. Sergio Mora. Now, Sergio had a horrible qualifying, and he texted me and said, do I have to race? And Sergio, got bad news for you. If you don't race, you're going to be scored at the back because you did make it to qualifying. So get in here, Get that. Try to do the best you can. Make the best out of a bad situation. Yurianis is here today. Amjad Yaman. Now, Tomoki Kuno from Japan. It's the middle of the morning for him, so go to sleep. He's not here today. And finally, wrapping out the top 10 is Jalfredis. Now, a name that is absent, is conspicuous by its absence, is our three-time champion Jan Koeman. He is here. He'll be starting on the pole today because of the quick six. He finished last race because he made a blunder. So yeah, I've talked to Jan this week. He thinks he's going to be fast at this track. He might go wire to wire. Let me go back to you, Rich.
Okay, well, thank you, Bill. We did have, so far, we've had one race in this series, and that one was won by Evan Maillard with Jesper Peterson in second place. So, of course, that's exactly the way the championship stands at this point in time. So we're looking for a really exciting race here. We do have a couple of new names that we want to talk about in a minute, but right now, we want to show you around this track with a lap guide. So why don't we show the viewers the lap guide before they start racing?
All right, Ayrton Ellis is going to take us on a lap around Silverstone South. Now, this is going to be a little unusual because we're going to start on the final corner here. We're coming up to Stowe, which is turn 10. There's a little bit of braking. Sort of a passing zone, but it's still a very fast corner. You want to get to the inside. The car's going to drift to the outside as there's a little bit of a crest. Don't get too far out or the grass will send you to the inside. Coming to the start-finish line. This hard braking, this is going to be a passing zone into this left. Now the trick here as you come through club is you really want to get on the gas as soon as you can because this is a bit of a straightaway here. And you could be vulnerable, although it's going to be a tricky passing zone. You'll see what I mean. Coming down straight into turn 4, you're going to brake at this little access road on the left, and then these curbs are very large, so you don't want to hit them too much because you can unsettle the car. You see a lot of guys do that. You see Ayrton took quite a bit of them, but he was brave there. Coming down this straightaway, this is the part that's going to catch a lot of people out. There's going to be a bit of a kinked braking zone into the right here, and then you got a chicane coming up this right, left, right. It's going to be very easy to cut the course. You want to carry as much speed as you can into Beckett's. You want to get on the brakes, bring it around this right-hander, and then that will dump you onto Chapel, which dumps you onto the back straightaway of Hanger Straight. Long straightaway. As I said, you might get a chance with the draft to make a pass at the end here. Now, this is one of the most unusual pit entries. This is why we started you early. It's going to be this little access road on the left. You'll see Ayrton dive through the pavement right there. And now you got this big open space. You still want to try and hold on to the car. It's going to be a little bumpy. In fact, very bumpy. And then you got to spot these two little cones in the middle of nowhere, and that dumps you into the pit lane. This is really going to separate the men from the boys, as you'll see. And it's definitely going to be an interesting one. It's an unusual course, a lot of chicanes, a lot of very strange parts of the track, but should be enjoyable.
Yeah, welcome back, folks. You've just watched a lap around the Silverstone Southern Circuit driven by Ayrton Ellis, and you can see just how difficult it is around here tonight, or today, I should say. So these guys are going to have a difficult time getting around this track, and then they have to contend with something like 40 other cars as well. So it's going to be a tough day for some of these drivers. And look to see quite a few of them in the pits very soon. Now, Bill, I just want to mention a couple of names here. We talked about some of the drivers and the championship, etc. But there is a new name that we want to talk about today, and that is Ade Coba Lopez. I've got him on screen at the moment in the number 34 car. He did not race. He didn't race last week. So he's making his first appearance there. He is a known fastie, and we expect to see him up near the top of the field when the racing starts. So look out for Ade Coba Lopez. His nickname, Bill, is Coba. He loves to be called Coba. Now, we better start calling out some of the grid, Bill, because we've got quite a few names to go through.
Yeah, let's go ahead and I'll cover the. I have the grid right here. We're going to cover the back 20 to make sure we have time to get the top 20 in when they grid. So its 21st position is Benjamin Callow. He's a newcomer. Trevor Mack in 22nd. Eric Garcia and Lino Chastang make out the. What would that be? That would be the 12th row. Elliot Hoffman, a rookie, and Jerem Yursa make out the 13th row. Benjamin Lanawet and Dries Nyes. Now, Dries is a new driver. They're in 27th and 28th. Jake Tucker, an old-timer. John Koolman back after a couple of seasons away. Joseph Aro is in 31st. Anthony Celentano in 32nd. Sky Willis, good to have her back. She's in 33rd today. Jacob Bouchain in 34th. He's a newcomer. Another rookie is Derek Holland and Jonathan Kerr, our only roadster loyalist. Good for Jonathan. He's come back to the roadster this year. Yanni Tulieni, now his big brother Timo, a really strong driver, is not here again today. Yanni, get your big brother back. We miss him. Rookie Benjamin Nelson in 38th. 39th is Mihai Meeson. 40th is Robert Ripple. 41st is Matthias Sony. And 42nd is Al Heaton. 43rd is Andy Morgan. Now, 44th, we get down to these guys that may not show up because of bad qualifying. 44th is Sergio Mora. He's a top runner, but he couldn't get in a clean lap. He's going to start at the back of the field. Sonny Ketchen also didn't get in a clean lap. Ohi Stokenberger didn't get in a clean lap. Simon Van Doon didn't get in a clean lap. And oh, I'm sorry. We go a little farther down. We have, I forgot to press the top button there. Igor Bembik did not get in a clean lap, so we'll see how many of these guys come back in. Now, Rich, while I dominate the microphone here, if I have a second to do our Cozy Cabins keys to the race while we have time, I'm going to fill in for Ayrton while he's working on his internet and they're beginning to grid. 2 keys to the race here today is pit entrance is going to be tricky, and if experience means anything, this is where you're going to see experience really playing out. And also, let's watch out for slowdown penalties because there's a lot of slowdown penalties. Rich, you want to go ahead and do the grid now that they're gridding up?
Indeed. Thank you, Bill. Well, the top 20 at the moment, starting with pole position, is Jan Koemans, and he's on the grid at the moment. Jesus Cecilia is in second place, Uras Jelenko in third place, Evan Maillard in fourth place. Ade Kobe Lopez picks up the fifth position with Richard Eklund in sixth place. Jay Yanis in 7th, Tomas Zabo in 8th, Dave Gelling in 9th, Carlos Torres in 10th place. As we see them starting, and the green flag flies, and Jan Koemans leads us away, followed by Jesus Sanchez immediately. Just behind him we have Uras Jelenko, and a slide there from, he got tapped by Cecilia. And Jan Koemans has got some damage already. Cecilia now takes over the lead of the race. He is being followed by Evan Maillard. Just behind him, Richard Eklund and Uras Jelenko. So some drama already in the first few meters of this race, I should say. And
More
a couple
trouble.
of guys out on the grass at this point in time. They all managed to gather it back in again. Frantic racing at the moment. Ade Kobe Lopez is in there as well. Uras Jelenko decides he's had enough of this and slows his car down so that he can get through some of these turns without any more problems. But now they kind of settle down, and the top 6 are Jan Koemans, Cecilia, pardon me, and then we have Richard Eklund, then we have Evan Maillard, then we have Ade Kobe Lopez, and then Uras Jelenko. What's happening at the back, Bill?
Well, I was watching the front because Ayrton wasn't here, but let's go ahead and follow up on Jan Koemans, as he was able to avoid that trouble off the first corner there, and now he's getting a nice distance away from these guys. You know, Evan Maillard is our points leader. He's back in about 5th position now in that orange car, so we'll keep an eye on him. If I go back, everybody looks pretty clean. There's a nice battle. McAleer is in a battle with Yaman.
Right, and that is going back to about 11th place at this point. And I have to say, these guys, Sam McAleer, Amjad Yaman, Carlos Torres, 10th, 11th, 12th place, these guys are all battling for positions. The guys like Jan Koemans and Jesus Cecilia have scooted away at this point, but we have a long race to go yet. We do have a 33-lap race on our hands. And they've just started. They're moving into lap number 2 now, so plenty of racing to go yet. The race is settling down, I should say. Jan Koolmans in control at this point in time with a damaged car. He's got some damage in the rear. It looks terrible, but it doesn't seem to be hurting his speed at all. Richard Eklund and Jesus Cecilia having a great battle for the second position at this point, and Evan Maillard in fourth place, looking to make a move on. Richard Eklund decides the better of it and settles in to follow them behind as they come around to just about complete lap 2. A nice getaway there from Jan Koolmans. This is what he likes to do, and starting from pole position could not be better for him. Eden, are you with us?
Yep, I'm reconnecting right now. Sorry for the issues.
No worries. Well, what have you been looking at so far?
Well, I thought maybe we'd take a second to run down the top 10, the 10 through 20. So Amjad Yaman is running comfortably in 10th place. Carlos Torres in 11th. Sam Mackler's behind him in 12th. Now, Guillermo Rato, he's a veteran. We'll keep an eye on him. He's in 13th. Stefan Overgaard in 14th. Arthur Chan in 15th. Julian Bolgen in 16th. Thomas Torp in 17th. Deuce Allen. Oh, I hear accident. I'll see if I can find that. In 18th, and wrapping out the top 20 is Roy Visser and Tom Rathie. Back to you, Rich.
Thanks, Bill. Yeah, well, look, let's just go back. Let's get the cameras on a newcomer here who's doing a great job in the number 38. That is Dave Gelling. He has not raced last week, but he's sitting there in 9th place behind Jay Yanis by the looks of it. And he's doing a good job, I must say, because he's got no experience in racing with these guys, and to come out and sit in 9th place is a great move from a new driver. He's ahead of Amjad Yaman at this point in time, and he's also ahead of Carlos Torres and Sam McAleer, so a great job by him. And we've got a couple of packs settling down now, let's call it. Jan Koolmans out there by himself at this point in time, and then we've got Richard Eklund changing hard. Richard Eklund has managed to take over the second position. Evan Maillard is in 3rd, and Dave Lopez in 4th. So what has happened to Jesus Cecilia? Well, he is in 5th place at the moment. So Ayrton, if you're with us, he's lost a few positions there.
Yeah, it looks like he's really been struggling. I'm just looking at Ade Coba Lopez. He was really pressuring Evan Maillard for that position, almost touched his rear bumper as well. So it looks like there's still a lot of action going on in this pack.
Well, I got to say, Bill, I am extremely pleased that that early accident that Jan Koolmans was involved in when he got slammed into by Jesus. As we see a move from Ade Coba Lopez on Evan Maillard. He goes to the inside there. They come together. They touch. No harm there, no foul. And Ade Coba Lopez, Eden takes that position from Evan Maillard. Evan won't be happy about that.
Yeah, and Evan Maillard is the Mazda Cup championship last season, so he's definitely no slouch in this car.
Now,
absolutely. But I gotta say, Bill, before we come to you, we have a big getaway from Jan Koolmans. I am quite surprised.
And we just heard from the director that Thomas Szabo spun. Hey, if I can follow up on real quick, I'd like to add Sergio Mora did start. He's worked his way up to 32nd position, working his way through the field, so that's good that he came in.
Yes, well, I'm pleased. I'm not happy that Sergio Mora is down in 30-odd place there, but I have to say I'm glad that he's raced. If he can pick up some points here, who knows? I mean, we are only on lap number 5, plenty of laps to go. You mentioned Tomas Szabo, Bill. Yes, I'm looking at Tomas at the moment. He has got some damage on the right rear of his car. But he seems to be going okay. He's just running behind Trevor Mack at the moment, and that puts him in what looks like 7th place. A couple of cars on the verge there, Etten. Did you see that?
Yeah, and we have another collision. Arthur Chan got together with Stefan Overgaard. Stefan Overgaard got together. We're going to replay right now.
Yeah, Stefan Overgaard is just recovering from a spin, but he's lost quite a lot of positions on that straight.
And Arthur Chan as well. Arthur Chan's car is damaged both front and rear. Looks like his day might be over now. He's trying to get his car started again. He's back on the track as we speak now. We're watching the replay of the incident, and very, very badly damaged car.
So Overgaard is out, and it looked like Chan is going to, if he does get his car back on there, he's going to be way behind.
Yeah, that's correct. Arthur Chan has now gone into pit lane, and he will try and take some repairs. That will take some time. I must say that car is badly damaged. Pretty much his night is over. So let's go back there to the front where the action is at this point in time. There's someone else in the pits there. Let me just have a quick look at that. Looks like it might be Sonny Kanchan in the pits there. But let's go back to the front there, Ayrton, where we see Richard Eklund and Jacob Lopez starting to hold down that second position there. Who's in that second position? Jan Koemans. So that's not second, that is first place. Jan Koemans, there's a lapped car already in front of Jan there, but the other two are pulling him in.
Yeah, both of those guys have covered almost a whole second in 2 laps, so they're really catching on to Jan Koemans. And it's even with the pressure, Lopez has a lot of pressure from Maillard right behind him. He's going to try to make a move, thinks better of it going into this chicane. It's really difficult to pass in these chicanes around here. As Richard Eklund actually goes off on the exit of that chicane, doesn't lose any positions, but he sure probably lost a little bit of time there.
Yes, and Maillard now is all over the back of Jacob Lopez. He's really pressuring him, trying to force him into a mistake or trying to take that position. But all that's happened here, Ayrton, is that Jesus Sanchez is now caught up to the back of Evan Maillard. And the more they do battle Jacob Lopez and Evan Maillard, the more time they will lose to Richard Eklund, and they will allow Jesus to get right up to their bumpers and perhaps make a move on them. So not the greatest idea to be battling so hard this early in the race. Only on lap 7 at this point in time.
Eklund on Koemans. Eklund going on the outside of Koemans, going into turn 1. They're side by side going into the braking zone. Looks like Koemans going to be able to hold him off. Eklund can't get a run out of the corner, but Eklund really trying to catch Koemans as he's going on the inside again through turn 2. He's going to get him this time.
I think so. I think he's going to get him.
And in front of them is a lap car, Benjamin Nelson. There goes Eklund. A great move on his part there. Koemans slotting in behind him. They're coming up to the lap car, which I mentioned was Benjamin Nelson. Let us hope that he doesn't hold them up because it can be tricky passing through some of these corners. Eklund, great job by Eklund as they go through the chicane now. That should, whoa, Eklund launches his car through that chicane, passes the left car. Koemans comes up to the left car, passes the left car, spins out. Will he get in touch with the other guys? Evan Maillard takes evasive action and manages to get through. Does look as if Evan's got some damage there. You'll get a slowdown for that as well, Ayrton.
Cecilia also got spun around through the grass, and he's losing a lot of positions now. He hit the wall as well, so he definitely got some damage.
And it looks like Jacob Lopez did manage to get through there without any problems. And in front of him now, there's Uros Jelenko, so he's lost a couple positions. A lot of guys has to take evasive action by that lap car. The lap car did try to get out of the way. Let's give him his due there, Bill. But unfortunately, he spun and then got caught up with the guys.
Yeah, he got a little nervous, and he is a rookie, and he had a little trouble last week too. So he did his best, but I can attest that it is frightening when these guys come up. Hey, we've all witnessed a solar eclipse when we saw Richard Eklund. Whoa, look at the Eklund and Koemans are both on the grass. We saw Jan Koemans get passed on the track by Richard Eklund. That doesn't happen very often.
Well, this is true, and I have to say, both Jan Koemans and Evan Maillard Evan Maillard behind him have damage to their cars. Evan Etten looks like he's got some rear end damage there. Doesn't seem to slow him down much by the looks of it, but time will tell. Behind him, Uros Jelenko now catching up. So maybe Etten, he does have damage that has, kind of curtailed his top speed.
Yeah, well, this Hainer Straight definitely gives a lot of draft. Looks like Yershchenko is going to get the inside for the final corner. Going to go right on by, but Evan Mayer looking to get the crossover, and he gets better exits. Looks like he's going to go on the outside as they enter turn 1 side by side.
Yep, but now Yershchenko does have the better line into the turn, but a great job there by Evan Mayer. Just pushes through on the outside and takes the position back from Yershchenko. Just seemed to me to be a little cautious going through there. No need to rush at this point in time. They still have to do a pit stop yet, and they still have to do about 23 laps. So plenty of time to get the job done on guys like Evan. But there is now quite a bit of distance between Jan Koemans and Evan Mayer. So they're losing positions to, not positions, they're losing time to the two up front. But look at Richard Eklund. He is just taking this thing by the scruff of the neck right now. He has put at least 10 car lengths on Jan Koemans, and he's running away with it at this point in time. So, yeah, good on Richard Eklund. Now, Bill, we need to have a look at some of the other guys and see what they're doing.
Yeah, well, let's go back to 11th spot here where we're looking at Duljan Bolden. They got a nice battle going on. Duljan Bolden is in 11th. Now, right behind him is Tom Rathie. Hey, let's get the camera on Tom Rathie. He's actually a sponsor by Title Influence. He's running in the top 12. That's a nice spot for that team. Back behind them is Thomas Torp in that, I'm going to call that the Foggy Notion colored car. They like to call it gray. I'm calling it Foggy Notion today. Trevor Mack in 14th position. A good battle going on back there. And then Thomas Zabel's been making his way through the field after that spin. And then you go back a little bit and you're looking at Jake Tucker rounding out the last. If I can go through the top 20, Lino Chastang is in there too. Now, if we drop back a little bit more, we can see a nice battle for 19th is Benjamin Lanowith there in that kind of dark colored car, and Elliot Hoffman, and they're going for 19th. And if we can do a quick look all the way back to 22nd, it's Sergio Mora making his way up, and right behind him is the mystery man, Oki Stokenberger in 23rd. So we're going to keep the guy on them as they work their way through the field. Mora in 22nd, Stokenberger in 23rd. Back to you, Rich.
Yeah, we'll certainly keep our eyes on Sergio Mora. He's right on the back there, both of them carrying the Blondies logo on the rear of their cars. Good to see Blondies, our title sponsor for this series. Sergio Mora struggling a little bit to get past some of these guys, but no doubt he'll try and get the job done. Let's now go up further to 7th place, director. Let's have a look at Sam McAleer. Sam is a fast guy. He's a little bit further back than he would like, no doubt, and he is following Dave Gelink, who is the surprise package. Well, I guess, Ayrton, Dave Gelink is no surprise. This guy is an ex-pro driver.
Yeah, he's very fast, and Sam McAleer also, he got 4th place last race, so he's definitely fast, our Season 3 champion as well. So there's a lot of fast names here. Right behind these guys is also Guillermo Rato. It's his first appearance this season. He also missed a lot of last season, but in, I believe it was Season 5 or 6, he was a main rival for Jan Koemans for the first place battle, so he's all the way down in 8th, which just shows, again, the competition in this field.
Yeah, and just to follow up, Dave Gelink was brought in. He was brought in by the magnetism of the talent. He said, "Hey, I've seen the talent. Let me in, Bill." And he got in there just at the end. Hey, and I want to follow up with you guys that Jesus Cecilia is actually out of the race after the contact with Nelson, the back marker. So that's really too bad for Jesus.
Yeah, that is a great pity. It's always tough. I hate to see that happen to any driver, but particularly the great ones, because we love to see some battles taking place up the front. But let me just get back to Guillermo Rato for a second. I just love the sign on the back of his car there, Ayrton. It says, keep calm and follow me. I love it. That's great. And just in front of him now, we've got Sam McAleer just in front of him. He's in a battle here with Dave Gelink. Is it Gelink or Gelink? I'm not quite sure, but I think we'll just call him Gelink for now. And in front of them, we've got Ade Koba Lopez, unaccustomed to being this far back in the field, I must say. He's following Uras Jelenko, who in turn is following a badly damaged Evan Maillard, and these guys are behind Koolmans and Eklund. So that basically is your top 10, and what we can do now is go and have a look at our 9th place, which we haven't mentioned. That's just behind Guilherme Rato, and that is none other than Jer Yanis. Now, Jer, Bill, I don't know what happened to him. It seems like he's carrying a bit of damage as well, and on the right rear of his car. So plenty of these cars been in the wars already.
Yeah, well, it's hard to stay clean on this track with a large field. I'm not really sure how many we started. I think we started about 45 or 6 or 7 or 8. Hey, you know, Ayrton and I were talking before the race that we don't like to play favorites, but it kind of does our heart good to see Koolmans and Eklund out in front, showing these new guys that are coming in that their championships were legitimate. It wasn't just because of lack of talent. Koolman and Eklund are nice to see them dominating this race.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. Look, the newer guys have to get to grips with some changes that they may well be unused to. Things like a fixed setup. A lot of these guys are used to running in teams and in the official iRacing series where you can change your setups to your liking. Somebody like Adekoba Lopez, who's winning these championships, suddenly he comes into a race here where it's a fixed setup, and guys like Eklund and Koolmans have been running with this setup for at least a season already. So they are not, they are learning. They're learning. And
okay, and we have one of
information.
We have one of our leaders into the pits now. It's Evan Maillard.
Evan Maillard. So he is the first of the top. Well, he's not the first to go into the pits. Plenty have been in the pits, but certainly he's one of the top runners, and he has entered the pits. I want to say, Ayrton, that it looks to me as if Koolmans has settled in behind Eklund, and he is catching him at this point.
Yeah, these guys will probably stick near each other for the majority of the race. I just want to go back to the pit stop scenario. Amjad Yaman, who was actually in the top 10 earlier in the race, he was one of the first guys to pit, so I'm actually trying to keep an eye on him and see his comparison to the other guys who were fighting that top 5 group, Lopez, Maillard, and Shalenko, to see where he comes out in correlation to them.
Yeah, and Ayrton McAleer has made a pit stop as well, so we'll see how McAleer and Giannis come out together.
Well, there was a challenge there on Eklund by Jan Koolmans, but he didn't get away with it. And Richard Eklund still leads this race, and we are on lap 15. So these guys have to think about their pit stops. We didn't talk about pit strategies in the early part of the race, but I would imagine, Bill, that the pit window is well and truly open. In fact, almost closed for these guys.
Oh, I think they have a while to go on. I think this is pretty early in the window. It's a 33-lap race. I would assume they're going to be able to go 24, 25, I would think. Now, Maillard is coming out just behind Garcia in 18th place. So, but it looks like Maillard is going to be ahead of McAleer and those guys who made their pit stop.
Yeah, Jelenko and Koba are into the pits, so these guys are right next to Maillard, so we have to see where they come out.
Yeah, there's the pit. Everybody's jumping into the pits right now. So at this point, the leaders haven't gone into the pits. As we see, Adekoba Lopez coming out of the pits now.
He behind
was in
Maillard.
5th place, and he comes out just behind Evan Maillard.
McAleer jumped him.
And
well.
no, McAleer, it is Sam McAleer who's just jumped Adekoba Lopez. So it looks like Sam McAleer. He has not yet done his pit stop. No, he
does.
He has done his pit stop. So he's now in front of Adekoba Lopez. So they are fighting for their position right now. So going back to Jan Koolmans and Richard Eklund, these guys definitely have not made their pit stops as far as I can see. So it's all a little bit confusing at this stage, but it will all shake out very soon when all the pit stops are done and dusted. At this point in time, still Eklund leading, still Jan Koolmans behind him, and they coming up to some lap traffic as well there, Etten.
Yeah, and Cuman's actually that last lap on the final corner skimmed the grass, almost lost it. That would have been a terrible scenario for him. He would have spun and probably lost maybe a couple positions through the pit cycle. But he managed to save it, so it was all good.
Yeah, well, they at the moment, Guillermo Rado is in third place. Now, Guillermo, very nice. Keep calm, follow me, he says. And that's what he's showing the people behind him. And Gia Yanis now up to fourth place while the pit stops are still shaking out. Tom Raffy, Bill, this will please your heart. He's currently sitting in fifth place behind Gia Yanis. But of course, he may not have done his pit stop at this point yet.
No, but he'll be pretty proficient at doing that. So he's having a good race. Tom, it's important that he keeps that car on the track to make the sponsor happy there. So it looks like Maillard is our leader of all the people who have pitted. He's ahead of Jelenko. So if you go back, if we can get the director, go back to Maillard in 8th place right now and Jelenko in 9th. Those guys are really the leaders of the people who have pitted.
Yeah, that's correct. And just behind, let me see, that
and
is...
McAleer is real close. McAleer's right in there too.
Uras Jelenko just behind Maillard there. Now, Uras has done his pit stop, as has Evan Maillard. So these guys are fighting for position here. And if the other guys have to pit and these guys get ahead of them, as we see Uras Jelenko making a move on Evan Maillard. Evan breaks early to allow the move to take place, falls in behind, goes for the crossover, can't get it done. Uras Jelenko picks up that place and he moves up into 9th place now. But once the pit stops are done, that might well be second or third or even first place, Etan.
Yeah, definitely. And that was a really good move by Urs Jelenko, really hard on the brake. And also to note that Sam McAleer right behind these guys as well. He's doing the same strategy he did at Coda last week, where he pitted very early and managed just to pass everyone else near the end of the race after they did their pit stop. So it's working really well once again. I'm interested to know if he might have taken tires, some of the other guys might have not, if it's the same scenario as last race.
You know, Ayrton, he was so fast in the pit stop. I will double check, but I can't imagine that he took tires today. Now, we didn't talk about the weather. It's only 70 degrees and it's pretty cloudy. So I don't think tire wear is going to be as bad as it was at Houston or in Austin, as Austin, Texas last week when it was 85. We got to keep an eye on these leaders, Eklund and Koemans, when they decide to come
Well,
in.
Koemans is in the pits right now, and I can tell you guys, Koemans is taking tires in the pits there as well. So he's taken left sides at this point, and it looks like no, he's only taken left sides.
Yeah.
Out he comes, and so now this is interesting. Where is Sam McAleer, Evan Maillard, and Uras Jelenko in relation to him?
Maillard's just passing pit exit right now. So
yeah,
Koemans
Koemans came out pretty far ahead.
I'm sorry, I missed that. Go ahead, Etan.
Koemans actually came out pretty far ahead of Jelenko and Maillard.
Well, then one could make a guess and say that they took both left and right side tires because that was a pretty quick stop there by Jan Koemans.
And here comes Eklund. So this is for the lead, boys and girls. We're going to see if Eklund can get out ahead of Koemans, and it's a matter of how much gas, how little gas can Eklund take.
Well, we've got the camera on Eklund. This is a very, very important pit stop for Richard Eklund. Let us see, well, the fuel is a very important part. He won't need to fill up with the full 28% because they're already on lap 20. He's taking left side tires right now, and they come down, not quite yet. Does he take right side tires as well? If he does, no, he doesn't take right side tires. So same as Jan Koemans. Where is Jan Koemans?
Koemans is crossing.
He beat him.
Eklund got out first.
Key thing is also he came out in front of that lap traffic of Jake Tucker, Mihai Mason, and Trevor Mack. So he's going to be able to have those guys in between him and Koemans. That'll give him a huge advantage now.
Well,
16-second pit
there
stop
you go.
for Eklund. Yeah.
Sorry, we're talking across each other. Go ahead, Bill.
16-second pit stop for Eklund. So now we have to keep an eye on, even though if he may have the lead going into the last lap, we have to make sure he took enough petrol.
Well, that's right. But these guys are old hands at these pit stops now. And it's amazing to me how the pit stops probably were very, very similar perhaps Richard Ecklund was a little faster. I thought Jan Koolmans, Ayrton had a really fast pit stop, but obviously Richard Ecklund beat him to it and came out just ahead of him. And so Koolmans has a bit of work to do, but having said that, it pleases me that these guys are showing the newer guys that, hey, we're the old hands, we know what we're doing, and we're running in first and second place.
Yeah, and just to mention the times, Richard Ecklund had a 16.07 pit stop time, while Koolmans had a 16.7. So Richard Ecklund about a little more than half a second faster, and that obviously really helped him.
Yeah, and in in a sprint race like this, we are on lap number 20 now. So there are 13 laps to go as they once they've crossed the line, which they've done now. They're going to and Jan Koolmans straight over the grass and gets away with that. Didn't get any slowdown. Did not probably get an iRacing penalty for that, but that doesn't matter in this type of racing. He is on the charge, Ayrton. He's trying to run down Richard Ecklund, and he is going as fast as humanly possible. He's flying.
Yeah, that's the second lap in a row that he's actually done that exact same maneuver into the grass after that chicane. So maybe he's figured out a little way to get a little bit more speed out of the car. Obviously, you get an instant point for that, but maybe he's willing to sacrifice that for some more speed.
Guys, let's pay some bills here and interrupt me if there's a pass for the lead. It's time for Last Calls, brought to you by Blondies in Long Beach. Last call when everyone gets more desperate and everyone becomes less unattractive. I got the tagline right this time. We're going to start with Simon Van Doom in 31st place. He's the last car on the lead lap. Actually, Giancarlo will go back one spot. We'll go back to 32nd to Igor Bembik. He's a rookie. He's in 32nd spot. Simon Van Doom in 31st. Go one spot ahead to Jonathan Kerr in that beautiful yellow Roadster in 30th. One spot up is Sky Willis in that pink 49 Motorsports car. A rookie, Dries Nys in 28th place. Going up one in the pink Barbie car is Jerem Yursum. We haven't heard much from him today. Our Iron Man, the all-time lap race leader and everything, not leading in laps, but leading in laps tried, Joseph Airo from Italy. One spot up, Jacob Bouchanez. Then we get up to 24th place, Thomas Zabo there. It's not a great race for Thomas. We're going to go finish up with Robert Ripple in 23rd. See if I can do one more. Anthony Celentano, we haven't heard much from him in 22nd. And we'll go 21st, Lino Chastang. And let's wrap up with our last one, 20th position, Carlos Torres. That's Last Call, brought to you by Blondies Bar in Long Beach. Blondies is the place to be. Back to you, Richard.
Thank you, Bill. And we're going straight to Evan Maillard in 4th place. Trevor Mack, who was in between these guys, has done his pit stop. And he'll come out in the position. We'll figure out where he comes out. He's not in 5th position at this point in time due to that pit stop. But the big news, Ayrton, is Evan Maillard catching Uros Jelenko, and that'll be the battle for 3rd place, the last podium spot.
Yeah, and these guys, Urs Jelenko was on a really good run last race. He finished in 3rd that race as well, so he's trying to really rack up this consistency. He might not be battling for the win, but he's definitely finishing high up in the standings in these races.
Well, he's holding off Evan quite comfortably at this point. Evan did close up through some of the back part of the course there, and I think it's around here where Evan is really, really good. And coming out of these turns, and you'll see he visibly closes the gap between himself and Uros Jelenko there. But then Uros is better, it seems, as they come through to the front section of the course. Going down here, Evan will have some of the draft as well. That should enable him to close up a little further. But I do think Ayrton that he's suffering from top speed. He just doesn't have the full speed of this car at his command because of that damage.
Yeah, that instant at the... Well, actually, Richard Ecklund went off the track. I'm going back to check what happened, but Jan Koolmans is in the lead.
Oh, dear. Yes, please do check what happened there. Richard Ecklund obviously had an off there. Doesn't look as if he has any damage. But now Jan Koolmans has taken the first place, and we will get that on replay. Our director's pulling that up for us. Contact with another car we're hearing.
Willis. Sky Willis. He tried to go on the inside of Sky Willis in the final corner, and there wasn't room for him. He spun Sky Willis around and got spun himself as well. So he's now down into second position.
Okay, now where is Uros Jelenko in relation to him? Uros Jelenko now coming past Sky Willis as well, and in front of him he does have Jonathan Kier now as well. Evan Mayard has successfully passed Mihai Messerson as well. That was Mihai Messerson and Sky Willis they were passing. These guys got out of the way for them. Evan Mayard is on the chase trying to catch Uros Jelenko, who is coming up on the back of Jonathan Kier. He should get that pass done pretty easily, but Jonathan is on the inside line here, which really should have been on the other side, but nevertheless the pass is done. Evan Mayard now comes up on the rear of Jonathan Kier to make that pass, but it looks like Uros Jelenko has made up a little bit of time on Evan Mayard. A great run from Uros here.
Yeah. Go ahead,
Ayrton, Eklund is running Koeman's back down again. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to mention. He didn't actually seem to lose that much time as I thought he would. He did a full 360 spin, so you would think that he would lose a lot of time, but Koeman's almost seems to be struggling a little bit. He's running off the track every lap now, and Richard Eklund's just closing him in.
You know what? I don't think Koeman's is running off the track by accident. I think he's doing it deliberately. It must be a faster way around for him. But certainly Eklund, I'm just loving this. Eklund is running him down. Koeman's will have to draw on all of his experience, Bill, all of his championship wins that he's done in the past to stay ahead of Eklund, because Eklund is on the charge.
Yeah, and just to follow up on Sergio Mora, Mora and Oki Stokenberger were making their way up to the fact they're both very fast. Mora's up to 11th. Oki Stokenberger is out of the race again. He is a package of disappointment wrapped in potential. I'd like to see him actually finish a race one time and get a good position. Okay, let's go back up to the front with you guys.
Well, I tell you what, that was very well said. A package of disappointment wrapped up in, I forget potential. What the rest of it was.
Potential. Yeah.
In potential. Okay, I'll try and remember that one. As we see Sergio Mora, let's get the cameras on the number 99 of Sergio Mora. Beautiful green car there with the Blondies logo. He's doing a good job coming from virtually dead last up to 11th place right now. In front of him will be some of the faster guys. I think the next one up from him is Dave Galink. He's not going to be able to catch Dave Galink in a hurry, but certainly Sergio has done a great job. Hey, there's Dave Galink, who's following Amjad Yaman. Let's put the camera on Amjad Yaman. And in front of them, Guilherme Rato and Giannis. Now, Bill, these were names we were calling so regularly in seasons past, and now we hardly have a camera on them because they are down in 7th, 8th, and 9th place.
Yeah, Ayrton can attest to this. Guilherme Rato, like Ayrton said earlier, was a top runner, and I think he may come back a little bit. He actually said he got burned out on iRacing because of the dedication it takes. He goes, I got to try something different. He's recharged his batteries. Look for him to have a better second half of the season.
Yeah, he's doing a good job, and this is a nice little battle here. Let's watch this battle for a bit. We've got Amjad Yaman on Guilherme Rato, Dave Galink just behind them. Amjad is pushing hard to try and find a way past Guilherme, but Guilherme is a seasoned campaigner and a wily fox, if I may say that, no disrespect meant at all. And now Dave Galink has joined this battle. Dave Galink goes on the outside of Amjad Yaman there, now on the inside trying to get the job done, can't get it done. Amjad Yaman manages to hold him off and fights for another lap. We are on lap 27, Ayrton. Some good battles happening at the back here. What's happening at the front?
Yeah, I'm just keeping an eye on these guys. Richard Eklund is literally touching Koeman's rear bumper as they're passing the lap car of Joseph Arrow. He should go to stay on the right side of the track, and they'll get a little bit of draft from him, which will help Koeman's. But Koeman's apparently has a little bit of damage, which has been affecting his driving. That's why Richard Eklund has been able to just being so aggressive and catching up to him so easily.
Yeah, he had that lap one contact with, it might have been Jesus. I can't remember who it was, but yeah, he's really hurt. Probably doesn't have a great straight line speed.
Well, I have to say, I'm just looking at the front of Richard Eklund's car. Richard Eklund looks pretty dusty in the front there. Doesn't look as if he's got any damage. That might just be dirt being thrown up from the track and from other cars, but no damage, so he should have an advantage over Koolmans, who's got some rear end damage there. But Koolmans holding him off at the moment as they launch through the chicane, both wheels off the ground there, Ayrton. This is a great battle.
Yeah, and these guys are running the fastest on the track as well. They've been running the whole race, almost 30 laps now, and they're running the same lap times as qualifying pace. So these guys are really pushing hard.
Here he goes.
And they come up to a lap car. You're sorry, Bill. That's Jeroen Ursum in the Barbie car. Safely past is Jan Koolmans. Then we have we have Eklund now. Ayrton, call this one. He's making his move.
Yeah, Koolmans decides to go defensive while Rich Eklund shoots to the outside. This is a tough corner to pass on the outside of, but it's very can well be done. But he's probably going to try to get the over under here, get the better exit out of the corner. But Koolmans does a really good job running that corner really well. But Eklund still has some speed. Yeah, Koolmans still defending that inside while Eklund goes to the outside once again. And Koolmans is just going to keep on defending these inside lines into all these corners.
Fantastic racing from these two veterans of this series, Bill. Fantastic racing that we are used to seeing, as Eklund now on the outside getting a squeeze from Koolmans. Koolmans launches into the chicane, goes over the grass. I told you he was doing that deliberately. Eklund still trying, going to the outside now. Koolmans hugs the inside. That's defensive driving right there, Ayrton.
Koolmans giving barely any room into that turn 3 and almost ran Eklund off the road. Actually, I think he kind of did run Eklund a little off the road. Eklund had to back off, but Eklund not giving up on trying to make these passes happen.
And you know what? These guys, they've done it so many times in the past. They can run right next to each other. They trust each other. That is very important when you're racing this close, to be able to know that the person in front of you or behind you is in fact a good driver and can race close with you. They've had touches in the past, as we see Eklund now right behind Koolmans. Koolmans battling, Koolmans staying defensive. Koolmans goes to the inside, makes sure that he has the run, and now he does have a bobble. Eklund's chance right now. He goes to the inside but gets squeezed totally by Jan Koolmans.
Oh, there it is.
Touch, and unfortunately Eklund turns Koolmans, and that is not a good thing to see.
Yeah, Jelenko and Maillard are going to go by, maybe Sam McAleer as well. So Koolmans already dropping down to, I think, about 4th or 5th place now. No, he's not going to get passed by Lopez or McAleer, so 4th place.
Well, that is really unfortunate. It was a great battle. We were talking about how these guys can trust each other. I do think that Richard Eklund did not have almost any choice. He was being squeezed right up against the ripple strips there, and he may just have got offline a little bit, and that's what caused that touch. I don't think we can attach any blame to that racing incident. But certainly, let's go a little way back now, because Richard Eklund now well in front of Jan Koolmans and anyone else for that matter. Second place now, Ayrton, is in fact Uros Jelenko.
And I think Uros Jelenko might be able to run down Richard Eklund here. Richard Eklund probably has a little bit more damage from that slight contact as well. So he just got damage after damage piled onto him. Although they might be small amounts on their own, they probably add up a little bit. And Jelenko's definitely running down Eklund now.
Well, that's right. Certainly the gap seems to be getting smaller and smaller. And I tell you what else is amazing to me. If we go one back from Uros Jelenko, we see Evan Maillard. Now, this guy's car looks like rubbish, but in fact, it has slowed him down at all. He is actually, if you ask me, catching Uros Jelenko, or maybe that's been the gap for a few laps. We haven't actually been looking. But if that is the case and he's catching Jelenko, then both of them are catching Eklund. And the gap is maintained. Uros Jelenko trying to come up on a lapped car. That is the car of Jacob Buchesny, so one of the back markers. Uros Zelenko is still not past him yet at this point. So he's got to get past Jacob Bachesny and then make sure that Evan Meyer does not catch up to him. But they are definitely, Ayrton, are you there? They definitely catching Richard Eklund.
Yeah, he. I mean, it's gonna be close because Zelenko only has 2 laps to do it. We're on lap 32 of 33, so he really doesn't have much time. He's gonna have to get by this lap car, who lets him by. That's the lap car of, I believe that
Jacob Bachesny.
Yeah, Jacob.
Yeah,
Bachesny.
but now Evan Maillard is right on the back bumper of Uros Zelenko, and these guys, we are on lap number 32, so a lap and a little bit more for them to get the job done. I don't think they will catch Richard Eklund. He's got enough of a gap there, Bill, so that they won't catch him. But the battle is on once again for second place as it was last week.
Yeah, and I think the guy who really came out lucky on this is Jan Koemans. He's going to look like he's going to file in with a nice 4th place finish. And with his last place finish last week, he really didn't need the win. As he needed a win would be great, but what would have been disastrous if he ended up in the wall. So he's not going to be happy with a 4th place finish, but in the big picture, it may be what he needed. Back to you, Rich.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate thing that happened there, but this is close racing. This is tough racing. This is the best racing you will see in an MX-5 anywhere.
If we can jump back real quick
to
Sam McAleer. This is going to be exciting. We get back to McAleer. It looks like he's alongside Kuba.
Oh my goodness!
3 wide.
Yes, we've got Koba fighting on the inside there, and McAleer charging through and trying to take a position from Jacobo Lopez. They are coming up to some lap traffic as well. We are on the final lap, so this may well be an exciting battle, but we need to keep an eye out, Ayrton, on Richard Eklund, who will be finishing this race very soon.
Yeah, Zelenko and Maillard, they're definitely catching up to Eklund, but they won't have enough time to do it. But this battle for second is definitely not over.
Well, Bill, you keep an eye on what's happening between Koba and Sam McAleer. Right now we're going to Evan Maillard, and we want to see if this is going to end in tragedy for one of them. They are very, very close, and Richard Eklund not that far behind him. This is the last lap, folks. They're on the hanger straight. They're heading down towards the final turn virtually, and then the race will be all over. I think Richard Eklund will have it won, and unless something miraculous happens, which it could, there comes Maillard, but he's covered by Uros Zelenko. Ayrton, a great finish as they come now to the start-finish line. It's going to be Eklund first, Uros Zelenko second, and Evan Maillard in third as they spin their cars in some sort of victory salute there. What a great race.
Koemans is going to get 4th, and it looks like Lopez is going to outlast McAleer for... Whoa, as the car blows an engine there in the last corner. Going to outlast McAleer for 5th and 6th.
And then they followed home by Jay Yanis, a great race from Jay Yanis. Amjad Yaman once again 7th and 8th place for these two guys. So it looks like Ayrton, Amjad got past Guillermo Rato, and Dave Galinka will finish up in 10th place. There are a bunch of other guys still finishing up as well. But I have to say, once again, what a show these guys have put on.
Let's go back to 16th place with our Torres in 18th position. Close battle here as they come to the line.
Yeah, they're still racing at this point in time. Carlos Torres, Lionel Chestang's in there, Elliot Huffman's in there, but it's all over. They have finished now.
There we go. Woo!
So that's just about all of the lead lap. Tomas Zabo, he's not there anymore. Eric Garcia has finished, so everyone's pretty much done. So we will go to a break now, folks, and then we'll come back and give you the full standings and also arrange some driver interviews. It's going to be interesting to talk to these guys today. Back soon. Welcome back, folks, to the Blondies MX-5 World Tour. We have just seen a very tough race from some very tough racers. Let's run down the standings, Ayrton, from the beginning, where we see number 1 is taken out by Richard Eklund, the number 3 car. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, finishing right behind Eklund was Juras Jelinko, and the number 17 car. In third place was Evan Maillard, our winner from the previous race. Don Koumans came back to finish 4th. Ade Koba Lopez in 5th. Sam McLear in 6th. Yer Yanis in 7th. Amjad Yaman in 8th. Jeremy Rato in 9th. And David Jelinkin 10th.
And in 11th place, we had Sergio Mura starting from almost dead last up to 11th place. 12th place, Thomas Torp. Good run from Thomas. 13th place, Trevor Mack. 14th place, Jake Tucker. 15th place, Tom Rathy. Great run from Tom. 16th place, Duljon Baldwin. 17th place, Carlos Torres. 18th place, Elliot Huffman. 19th place, Lino Chestang. And in 20th place, Benjamin Lanowet. Bill?
Okay, you guys who are fans of these last 27 drivers, get ready because here we go. 21st, Eric Garcia, Thomas Zabo, Anthony Celentano, Jacob Bouchers, Dres Nyes, Simon Van Doon, Joseph Aro, Jerem Yersum, Igor Besmek. Hey, nice finish from him. Roy Visser. That takes care of 21 through 30. 31, Mihai Masison, Jonathan Kerr, Sky Willis, Derek Holland, Matthias Sony, Al Heaton, Robert Ripple, Benjamin Nelson, and Yanni Tulianen. And in 40th place, John Kuhneman. 40th place, he was 3 laps back. Now we go to the guys. He was 11 laps back. Now we go to the guys who really didn't finish well at all. Oki Stokenberger, 18 back. Andy Morgan, several back. Jesus Cecilia. Oh, a bad race for him. He got caught with that back marker and taken out of the chase. Otherwise, he'd have been up for a podium. Arthur Chan, 44th position. Bad finish for him. Benjamin Callow, his first race in the series, 45th. Stefan Overgaard, 46th. Not good from him. John Deuce Allen, haven't had a good finish yet from him, 47th. And rounding out the field, he got 1 lap in. Richard's neighbor, 1,000 miles away in Australia, Sonny Ketchum. Back to you, Rich.
Yes, indeed. 48 cars took the green flag, and
I'm exhausted.
that is just great to see. Pretty frantic, but a great race. Well, we do have some folks we can talk to. First up, we are going to call in Evan Maillard into the booth, and Ayrton Ellis is going to talk to him. Let's pull Evan in there.
Thanks, Richard. Evan, can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Well, that was definitely an exciting race to watch. What were your impressions?
Well, starting from 5th was pretty. Finishing 3rd after starting 5th was pretty nice. Could not expect much better, I think. I just wish some had a bit more racecraft than just pace, but that's just a bit too much to ask, I guess. So I had some major damage after lap 6 or something. I've been run into the back after I avoid somebody spinning. And then my car was a bit slow in the straights. So yeah, couldn't hope for much better.
Yeah, it was a little different story than last race where you were running in the lead for a good amount of the race. But this race, you were more kind of being the chaser rather than being the chasee. What was it like dealing with that damage and trying to get past Jelinko in those final laps?
It was tons of fun, this battle. I really thank Euros for being good, and it was great, and it had a great finish as well. So, congrats, Euros.
Yeah, that was a good
I couldn't
race.
make the pass. I tried to fake a dive bomb in the last corner, but yeah, it was not working. Never gonna work. Too far.
Right. Well, 3rd place finish is definitely a really good finish, and I think that should put you on the top of the standings, the 1st and 3rd place. So, congratulations on a really good race.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for talking to us, Evan. Back to you, Richard.
All right, and yes, I think we suspected that that damage could have hurt his speed a little bit. But now we are going to bring in Jan Koolmans, the great Jan Koolmans, winner of 3 championships in the Blondie series, into the booth, and Bill Soup Zahn is going to talk to the champion. Go ahead, Bill.
So much to talk about. Let's go to the early lap 1. How bad was that damage? It looked like it slowed you down quite a bit that you had on your tail there.
Hang on, we don't have Jan Koolmans in the booth just yet. He's not in the right place. Let's drag him in. Go ahead, Bill.
Jan, let's go ahead and talk early lap there where you got the damage. I'm guessing it slowed you down considerably.
A little bit, Bill. The car was, I would say, 95%. It wasn't too bad, but it was just a little bit weird. I'm not sure what was going on there precisely. I mean, he was well behind me, and it simply he came from way back and just hit me there. So I'm not sure what that was all about.
Yeah, now let's go ahead to your second contact, and you kind of had to see it coming, but man, what a battle you were having with Eklund there for the lead. You want to talk about what happened to you there? He took you out, you finished 4th. Honestly, I'm glad you got at least a 4th place finish. Talk about the incident.
Well, I got a bit lucky where I got the lead back. Obviously, when Richard got hit by a back marker there, I also had to take evasive action and took a slowdown. Otherwise, I would have been gone into the distance probably. But I lost 2 seconds on him in the pit lane because I had a lot of optional damage from the contact with Jesus at the beginning. So I didn't notice, and I lost about 2 seconds before I got going out of the pit lane, and that put me well behind Richard. And then, yeah, we were battling hard, and I mean, my car wasn't 100%, but I figured, well, it's about 50-50 whether I would manage to keep him behind me, because it is pretty tricky to overtake anyway if you just keep the inside. So I was pretty set my minds to just keeping the inside, and then he went 2 wheels off track to try and get his nose in, and then even though there was loads of space on the right of me, he still tagged me. So I'm gonna go ahead and blame Richard for that one. Okay, I'm not on IRT duty, so I'm glad I don't have it. It's up to Tom Rathy this year. That's why we bring you in for the interview, though, because we learn a lot. Nobody is better at pit stops than you. And when we saw Eklund get such a distance on you, a couple seconds, we were worried he didn't take enough fuel, but now we realize it was because of those extra repairs that you had because of the damage. Hey, 4th place, better than last week. You're going to work your way up the schedule and up the standings. And what's your schedule for next week? You think you're around? Possibly. Who knows?
Okay. Well, give your best to the lovely Tatiana and let her know that there is no Svetlana involved at all. And I apologize for that. And we'll see you next week.
Cheers, Bill.
Get the girlfriends' names right. That's rule number 1 in announcing. Let's go to you, Richard.
All right. Well, yes, thank you very much. Now we're going to bring Richard Eklund into the booth, and I'll have a chat with Richard, and we'll get the other side of the story. Richard, congratulations on a number 1 yet again. Do you realize that of all the wins that you have had, a lot of it has been on this track?
Yeah, I have 4 wins and 3 of them are here. So I think 3 in a row here now. So not too bad.
Well, yourself and Jan Koolmans, you guys put on a great show in the closing laps there. Tell us about that somewhat shady move there where Koolmans got turned around. What's your view on it?
Well, up until that point, we'd been battling pretty aggressively. I tried a few moves on him. I didn't know if he was going to want to or not because the guys behind us, Earls and Evan, were catching us pretty quickly when we were battling, so I didn't know what he was doing, but he was defending pretty hard, so he wanted the position. And just a few laps prior to that, I got spun by a back marker, so I guess I was in aggressive mode. And depending on how you look at the track, I went all 4 wheels off the track and put the nose inside of him. But if you count the curbs as the track, which I do, then all 4 wheels weren't off the track. So, but I was alongside him, and he just kept squeezing me towards the grass, and I had nowhere to go. I wasn't going to go in the grass for him to avoid hitting me. So he hit me and ended up spinning himself. So in my opinion, that wasn't my fault, but I know he said the opposite. So I guess somebody else will have to look at it.
You aggressive, Richard Eklund? No, surely not. Hey, look, first place in your first race out. A lot of new faces around. Evan Maillard now becoming a regular. We've got some other guys that no doubt with some experience are going to be challenging Adekoba Lopez. You know he's fast. We've also got guys like Oki Stokenberger and so on in there. You looking forward to do battle with these guys, or are you thinking, ho hum, I could beat them all?
No, it won't be easy for sure. And I won't be able to be here next week either. So I wasn't even supposed to be here this week, but I canceled the flight lesson to be here because I like this track so much. But yeah, no, the competition is as good as it's ever been, and looking forward to race against the best guys. I know Evan from the Mazda Cup, and we've been battling each other trying to win that prize, and he was able to beat me to that. So maybe I can beat him a few times here to get some revenge.
Well, look, Richard, well done. Always great to talk to you, and thank you for coming and talking to us. And we hope to see you a lot more in some of the races here, because it certainly does put on a great show for the viewers. So thank you very much.
Yep, thanks.
Well, folks, we are at the end of this broadcast, and another great one it's been. My apologies. We do have someone else we can talk to. We are going to bring in Sam McAleer. And I guess, Ethan, it's your turn to have a chat with Sam.
Thanks, Richard. Sam, you here?
Yes, I am.
Well, that was another exciting race to watch. You were, again, one of the really early pitters, and it happened to work out once again near the end when you managed to run down Adekoba Lopez, and you guys had a really good battle at the end there.
Yeah, I managed to catch him. I'm not sure if he had problems in the pits, but I managed to keep the gap at about 1.5 seconds, and then I get caught up on a back marker. I won't mention any names. She just pulled across the front of me, so I had to run the end of that race with quite a bit of damage to my steering, which was a shame, but that's what happens.
Yeah, well, you still finished with a very good finish. Last week you were fourth, and this race you got 6th, so definitely these consistent finishes are really going to stack up on the long run and really help you out. So you thinking about trying to fight for the championship this season?
I'll try my best. I wasn't particularly happy with this track. I'm usually semi-fast here, but I just couldn't get up to speed today, and then when the race came, when qualifying came, I went too safe and completely messed up my time, so that's a shame.
Yeah, I remember you being a top contender here last season at this track. I think you and Eklund are having a battle at the end, which was exciting to watch as well. Anyways, a good battle, and Adekoba Lopez, definitely a very fast driver, and you should feel happy that you could really compete with him at a level playing. Actually, you had damage, so it wasn't exactly a level playing field, but really good run by you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thanks for talking to us, Sam. Back to you, Richard.
Okay, I think we've got one more. We've got Here Yanis in the interview, so we'll have a chat with him as well. Bill?
Yeti. How am I doing? Yeti, is that it?
That's pretty good.
All
That's
right,
better, but can't expect any better.
Okay, we'll take it. We'll blame it on a net lag, so I didn't
Yeah.
pronounce it right. Hey, 7th last week, 7th this week. Amjad Yaman right behind you, 8th last week, 8th this week. I think that's pretty consistent.
Yeah, and that seems to be the trend. But we were actually back to our bread and butter this time at car-to-car contact, and I had to fight my way back from the 12th place or something.
Oh, we didn't catch it. Who'd you get together with Amjad?
Yeah, my spotter didn't bother saying he was outside of me, and I kind of ran into him and lost 5 positions or something.
You know, it seems like you guys are just like magnets. You are always together on the track every time. You are so competitive. What do you feel? Let's go. We haven't talked about next week yet with anybody. So, what do you feel about Sebring International with this car setup and the track, the big track? How do you think that's going to play out for you?
Well, I really like the track, but I haven't tried to set up there. I just hope it won't be too hot, but I guess it kind of will be hot since it's in Florida. And yeah, I just hope the car will behave good.
Well, this real quick because the setup's an interest to me. Were the tires a little bit better today in this cold weather than they were at Coda last week in 85-degree temperature, or was not much difference?
Yeah, they were definitely better, but still, it was kind of understeering at places where I wouldn't like it to be, but that's same for everyone.
Yeah, well, we're going to see if we can address that coming up in the next week. So, all right, well, good luck to you. Congratulations. We like the consistency. Behave yourself with Yaman. You two, we're going to send you to your room if you don't behave. So we'll see you next week, okay?
Yeah, thanks a lot, Bill.
All right, back to you, Richard.
Well, guys, that is it now, and we shall talk about. I'd like to get some thoughts just from you guys. Ethan, we are seeing some fantastic racing. Obviously, this is going to continue for the whole of the season if these guys stay in the series. So, can it get any better?
I honestly don't think it can. I would say that rivalries are heating up, but there's so many drivers that have already raced in just these 2 races that could possibly win a race. So, I mean, there could be rivalries between 10 different drivers all at once in one race. So, I mean, this is going to be a really competitive season. I still think that Eklund and Cummins are going to be the big names, and although Eklund can't race in all the races, I think that he's definitely going to be a race-winning contender in all the races that he does race in. Same with Cummins.
And what about Jelenko? Jelenko is proving to be a handful to some of these other guys.
I think he's the most consistent, but yeah.
Alrighty. Well, Bill, your thoughts? You've put this together with your team, and you must be pleased that you're getting the turnouts that you are getting. 48 drivers today.
Yeah, 48 drivers. It's a lot of work for the IRT guys. Sorry about that. Tom Rathy's on call this week. I feel like a proud parent with where my children have left junior high school and they're up to high school now and they're racing with the big boys and they're holding their own. It's nice for me to see Eklund and Jelenko, veterans of the series, and Cummins up there, and even Mackler doing great. So it legitifies it makes their previous championships and their previous accomplishments legitimate. So I hope they do well. But again, I love Maillard. I'm glad they're here. Coba Lopez, if we can get Timo Tulianen back with us, these guys, if we can keep Jesus Siliesa, I forgot his last name. What is his last name there? He changed it on me. It used to be Sanchez or Lopez.
Sanchez, yeah.
Well, whatever it is, we can keep Jesus on the track. It should be great. What a great series. This is great. And a shout out to boy, I'm just hogging the microphone. Everyone wants to go home. Let me just give a quick shout out to Dave Gelink, I think it is. 10th place finish from him. That's a nice first time appearance for him. And I'm done. Everyone, have dinner, have lunch, have breakfast. Back to you, Rich.
Well, that is it. We are all done. Thank you very, very much, viewers, for watching. Let's go through and thank a few other people. We would obviously like to thank our title sponsor, Blondies Bar in Long Beach. Please visit blondieslb.com. Blondies is the place to be. Cozy Cabins in Green Valley Lake. Please visit cozycabinsgreenvalleylake.com to reserve top quality lodging at a reasonable price. GVL Green Valley Lake is the best kept secret of Southern California's San Bernardino Mountains. Get up there. I wish I was in the States. I would go and certainly visit up there. And on your stay, also do stop in at the Eagle's Nest Tavern in Green Valley Lake as well. All good places and sponsors of ours here at the Blondies series. We would like to thank everyone in the Quality Racing Syndicate for organizing the series, led by the very, very capable Bill Soup-Zahn. But of course, he's not alone. There are plenty of others who help as well. We would also like to thank iRacing.com, XSplit, Twitch TV, Audio Technica, Behringer, and Ava Media, YouTube, for providing the software and the hardware that we use for all our broadcasts. Thanks also to the broadcast team today. Great job, Ayrton. Great job, Bill. And director Giancarlo. Not forgetting the great camera sets provided by Dougie Beard as well. Now, if you'd like to find out more about the Global Sim Racing Channel, please visit our website, globalsimracingchannel.com. There you will find all our broadcasts, our previous broadcasts, and also and also race highlights from some of the races. We're also on Facebook at www.facebook.com/Global Sim Racing Channel, and also on Twitter at GSR Channel. We would also like us to give out a special thanks to Eric Ekholm, who provides us with some really great music. You can find it here on GSRC, but also you can listen to it on some TV commercials, some movie trailers, iTunes, and Spotify as well. If you do like the music, tell Eric where you heard it. His handle is at Eric Ekholm. Upcoming broadcasts. We have a Sunday that is this coming Sunday, the 14th of September. We have the VSRA, Virtual Sim Racing Channel. They will be having a race in the Riley MX prototypes at Barber Motorsports Park. Following Wednesday, we have our Oval Racing ASRS, and these guys will be over at New Hampshire, and they race the trucks. Please have a look at them. Some great racing taking place there. On Friday, more oval racing coming to you from Talladega with the iSuperspeedway.com. They will be in the Gen 6 cars, and they will be racing at Talladega, as we mentioned. Following Saturday is the next race in this series, race number 3, brought to you from Sebring International, featuring some excellent, great drivers in the MX-5 Cup and MX-5 Roadster cars. So that's all from us tonight. Thank you for watching. Take care out there. Race hard, race clean, and we'll see you on the track.